course, they have a lot of other things too. They're marketing for anything. As you know, we don't have a professional baseball team, so they have pretty much do what they can to survive.
How do they do it?
According to their paperwork, not very well. That's why we're trying to figure out what we should do, quite frankly.
Okay, good. Let me jump across the street. That's on the what we call that, I guess the north side of Lakeland Drive. On the south side of Lakeland Drive, there's another baseball diamond, numerous baseball diamonds. What's that called again?
Lakeland Deep Baseball.
Okay, and we own that. And you manage that directly or what?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what kind of sports? I mean, what kind of age groups or what do we do on there? Are we doing just high school or what we call sandlot or what are we doing?
There's satellite, I know of that, but you're right. The high school uses it primarily, and that's pretty much what they use for. Of course, when there's an overflow on the other side of the street, they also use it.
What would be the relationship between them and, say, a place like Grove Park? Okay, I mean, do they compete against each other, or are they the same? It's totally different operations, the same league, different leagues, or what?
Are you speaking about?
I think AC is talking about the field just south of Smith Wheels. You're talking about the set of fields that are south of Lakeland Drive, North Jackson Baseball.
Right, North Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
North Jackson Baseball, that's what it's called.
Yes.
And like, for instance, I'm familiar with Grove Park. Okay, and I know that community people pretty much run it. You have, I think, it's probably one of the places that president used to call balls and strikes, I guess. Is that one place the president?
Yeah.
Okay, things of that nature. So most of us have been through that. I'm a little less familiar with that other formation over there.
Right. It's formed the same way as Grove Park. They, matter of fact, all of the youth agreements came by to the city council for approval. So it's the same format.
Okay. Hey, I'm not trying to be facetious about this, but I'm just a little curious. I've been there several times, just driving through, really not to see a game, just kind of trying to turn around up in there. It doesn't seem like there's very many quote-unquote minorities playing up in there. Okay. I mean, why is that? I mean, Jackson is an 85% black city. It'd be kind of hard for me to believe that a field that's just run at random for anybody to join who wants to join would have very few of us playing there. Yeah.
Well, and to be frank with you, can't answer that question, although it's open to anybody. And I know it's open to anybody because there are some minorities there. I believe the cost is a little more expensive than having those Jackson than the Grove or any of the other sports that like the Wolves. But it's certainly open to anybody. And I'm not going to speculate as to why one would not go there.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't speculate, but we need to be on top of it because we need to make sure there's no kind of discrimination going on.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's open to everybody.
I see some people shaking their head, but I just think that we need to be vigilant. And as far as I'm concerned, Grove Park too. Anybody who wants to play Grove Park should be able to play Grove Park. They want to play it. But years ago, long before you were I probably used to work in this position. I happened to be out there and saw a very unfortunate incident, which was race related. In terms of people calling little black pitcher names and things of that nature. So I'm just a little sensitive to that, and I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Also, I could say, having been out there a lot as well, I do think that in some ways the minority demographic is changing, but I've also heard reports that there's a lot of that actually a lot of folks are wanting more minority participation over there, and there's kind of a because of the I guess the competition between the Grove Park and that area, that a lot of people don't, they don't want minority, folks to go over to that one because they want to stay at Grove Park. And I think, that can work both ways as well. We need to make sure that that no matter who you are, that, like you say, it doesn't matter if you're white or black, we should really get both of those more level, where people are playing with each other, and the diversity is strong on both sides. And I hope that we do that, and I hope that there's no intimidation on either side, because we do need it to be more representative of the city. And but I do think it is becoming more one and one.
Yeah, and if people are choosing to go to different places, then that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. But the other thing is, I guess, the level of maintenance of the different facilities. The one that we're talking about seems to be far better maintained than Grove Park. Now, I don't live near Grove Park, but you can straighten me out if I'm wrong. The president lives over there, I think, and that's too far. So,
and let me say this. I've been involved with these little league things for many years and all that. And the problem that we have, Captain, I'm going to be straight up with you. Those people in North Jackson, professional involvement is a lot heavier over there. I mean, parents come over there and fix the field, they buy batting cage, they do all that stuff for the children. And I know that, and that's why it looks better, and that's why it kept up better. It's because they had more parental involvement. AC, you know that. And because Mr. What's the name I always talk about, the sport, tax club school and all that. But he got on me because we put Phobos out there at Grove Park, and they stayed by the month. Somebody tore them down. And then he gonna tell me, why can't the city put Phobos back up there? You got to take care of stuff that you have out there, I'm just being straight up about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, Council, that we have got a problem that we have. I mean, we just got the police out here and get people involved, just like they're doing in the other part. I mean, they don't. And the city doesn't buy those batting cage and all that kind of stuff. But you go over there now, Jack, they got everything, because the parents get together because they feel the kids need these kind of things.
Well, I'll tell you what would help me is our relative expenditures toward the two different parks. In other words, we can see exactly what we from the city are paying. We can probably handle that.
Well, that would be informative. And for instance, we just fixed a bathroom facility at Grove Park. Just put a sprinkler system in last year in a little small field there. We redid the scoreboards. So there's been we've been some extensive funding has gone, relatively extensive funding has gone to Grove Park. But let me just say about Grove Park and the condition it is in. Last year, Grove Park hosted a regional Little League tournament. And so you talk about diversity. There are people who came not only from inside the city, but within the state that had never been to Grove Park before. They had one time, I was talking to Mr. Cheatham, and they're trying to get a regional tournament. They will be getting another regional tournament over at Grove Park again this year. And so it's paying off the investments that we're making over there at Grove Park. But I would venture to say that we made more investment there than any other Little League field in the city.
Can I get a report on that? Okay, appreciate it.
I have one question on that. Who are the members of the Mississippi Baseball Stadium LLC, Baseball Club LLC?
Conway, Cabot, Wales, and there's another gentleman out there that I don't recall at this time, but I'll get that number for you.
And did you receive a phone call or speak with Mr. Lamar Alexander, not the U.S. Senator, but the one that lives in my ward? because they were, speaking of this, was one of the things that President Blunton talked about. They were wanting to get permission, I think, to upgrade, that they were going to spend some money for the kids to upgrade some of the batting cages and some of that, but they needed to speak with someone. I thought I'd send them to you.
I apologize, I did speak to that one. We're going to take it across the street.
And y'all are working on that. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, there's a $50,000 lease on that, right?
Excuse me.
That's after the
First $50,000.
first $50,000 after the expense. And do you know how much money the city had to put into that? I know the city make improvement too, right?
If any major expense project, the city is responsible for it. Other than that, now
We
they're
haven't had any major expenses of that? Okay.
I said that children who come and play there, the younger ones especially, who get to play on the turf, they feel like they're in the major leagues. It's really an experience for them.
You know, I would invite everybody out to see those young men play football. On Saturday, they start around 8 o'clock. I mean, they look like college players out there. They got their own little cheerleaders. They got everything out there. I mean, they have a ball, and I think they age from about 9 to 14 or something like that. And they really play with them. You really enjoy yourself out there.
And the field that's right in front of Smith Wills is named for Michael Johnson, who came up through the ranks. I'm sure that you probably met up with him along the way, Mr. Johnson, who was tragically killed. He's Trey Johnson's first cousin. And we named the field for him.
Yeah, that's real nice. But, see, a lot of people are not aware of what's going on with the young people out there. But and these coaches put out a lot of time working with these young people. They really do well.
My son-in-law coached out there for years with Barrett, my grandson, and they really do put in a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Okay, 17.
Anybody else did, but I had asked about it. This is a upgrade of an antenna site licensing site. Okay, is it a signing of a new agreement or
Austin Telecommunications. They already have existing infrastructure on this unit here. They're going from the 2G format, or second generation, to the 3G format, or third generation.
Okay, and what I understand that 4G is supposed to be the state of the art nowadays.
Right. Yes.
So what are we lagging behind in that, or?
And for what it's worth, this is PowerTel Memphis. It's T-Mobile we're talking about here. This company. The initial equipment that they put in from the inception of their service was of a European format, which is a little bit higher grade technology than what the United States started out with here. Therefore, they lag behind one generation, but yet they are equal to the fourth generation infrastructure that's in place, or is beginning to be put in place with all the care.
So what they do is this agreement is really a lease agreement. We lease.
In essence, the landlord, the renting.
How much do we make out of this agreement?
This particular one will net us $600 monthly or $7,200 annually for this portion of the upgrade. And I don't have a figure for what they're presently paying, but this will be in addition to
What they're paying
present
already?
funds. Correct. That's right.
How long is the lease that they're presently under for? Do you know that?
We run in 5-year terms. And I did not bring the agreement with me for. I'd have to get back with you on that to give you the specifics on it. Thank you.
I had a question. It wasn't about this specific, but just because we were talking about towers and whatnot, I just wanted to know about wanted to update on the Eastover Tower.
Remember Road?
Right.
ceasefire signals out.
Right.
Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Brown would normally be here, but he is at this very moment meeting with Mr. John Stratton with ceasefire. And they are getting together kind of to refine the points of where this agreement is going to go for this tower that will be built in that area.
I'm anxiously awaiting seeing it as an order on the agenda.
As soon as we can work out the details.
If you have any trouble or problems, please let me know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, 19.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to look at this. I saw Ms. Shakespeare's